15? 15? 15?
A 15-year-old is under arrest in Noonan for armed robbery. Police say when they arrested him, they discovered a cache of weapons, some of them modified to be fully automatic. Fox 5's Doug Evans has the story, all new at 6.
There's not much we can tell you about this 15-year-old because he is a juvenile, but wait till you hear about his arrest at a home in Atlanta this past week. The Noonan Police Department Drug and Vice Unit, along with Atlanta Police, were investigating an armed robbery that happened in Noonan back in April. They believed a 15-year-old was one of 2 juveniles responsible, and they say they found that kid hiding in a bedroom in Atlanta with the covers pulled over him. Here's what police said they also found in that bed with the teen.
They knew going in that he was in there based on what the woman told them, and they actually found him hiding in a bedroom under covers on a bed with an AR pistol fully loaded with the safety off under the blankets.
They say the kid's finger was on the trigger of the AR pistol. They say they later found 2 more handguns in the bed, including one that was stolen during that armed robbery here last April. They say they found 2 rifles also under the bed. They say all of these guns were in that same bedroom. Many of them were stolen, some from Noonan, Atlanta, Carrollton. In all, more than 10 firearms were seized at that house, along with some extended magazines, double drum magazines for rifles, at least 1 handgun that they say was modified so it could fire continuously, much like a fully automatic. And so for this armed robbery that happened here in April, Noonan police have now arrested 2 juveniles, one 14-year-old that was arrested shortly after the crime, and now this 15-year-old arrested this past week.
So I'm a little confused because the last time I checked, you had to be at least 18 to buy a gun. But somehow this 15-year-old was able to buy all of these guns. Oh, that's right. You have to be at least 18 to buy a gun legally, and laws only stop people who are willing to obey them. Mind you, I have a ton of questions on how he had all of these guns and his parents didn't know. Or maybe they did know and they just didn't care. Or maybe these guns aren't even his and older criminals had him hold the guns because he's a minor. And if he gets caught, he'll do a little juvie time and then be back out on the streets in no time, hiding Glocks with full auto switches under his Superman bed. But in all seriousness, what gun control law would have prevented this 15-year-old from getting his hands on these guns? Actually, don't bother answering that question because the only answer you could possibly come up with is to ban all guns. And even if you did that, there are over 300 million of them in the country. So that means the only people who would still have guns are those people who are willing to break the law and or hand in their guns that they already have. Because last I checked, criminals weren't called criminals because they obey laws. Quite the opposite. And if criminals were in the business of turning in guns they already had, there would be no point in getting them illegally in the first place. So trying to ban all guns in the name of safety and saving lives is hogwash. Gun control is no different than prohibition. They banned alcohol and all it did was provide the perfect environment for the black market to thrive. This isn't rocket science. When you ban guns, you just create an environment where criminals are emboldened and people who aren't criminals are forced to become criminals or live at the mercy of criminals who don't follow the rules that all the non-criminals follow. This kid was only a few years removed from puberty and had guns that I don't even have. And I have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to guns. The only thing stopping me from having these guns is the fact that I don't want to break the law. Otherwise, I could get my hands on whatever I wanted on the black market with no problem. And I'm not even a criminal. So imagine how easy it would be for a career criminal to get a gun. That said, at some point we have to stop and ask ourselves, why does a 15-year-old rob people with guns? The answer to that question will be the first step to solving the violence issue in our inner cities between these teenagers, because those are the people who are driving the gun violence in this country. It's not mass shooters. It's young black and brown teenage boys being raised by single-parent mothers who are living in our country's most poverty-stricken inner cities. It's that specific of a problem. Young black teenage boys being raised by 2 parents in suburbia do not engage in this type of violence. And they have the same access to guns as the young black teenage boys in the inner city. That should tell you something about what the real problem is. But no, we want to keep sweeping the real issue under the rug of gun control. These teens don't care about your gun control. They're literally born in an environment that even the police are scared to go to, and they spend all of their life there. You can't wage war against the platonic family while incentivizing single-parent homes and then throw in a couple full-on poverty and a spoonful of shitty education systems and then become surprised when the highly influential kids in that environment are shooting at each other or, in this case, hiding guns in his room. But let's not forget the main question we should be asking. Where the hell were his parents or parent? Regardless of what our moronic government may be doing to fuel this type of environment, at some point we have to start taking the way we raise our kids seriously, because the government isn't going to do it. I know a parent can do all the right things and a kid can still come out bad, but come on. That can't be the case for every kid in this environment. If we know it's these teens driving the vast majority of the gun violence in this country, we as a nation should be focused on correcting the issues that are causing that. That is not normal. 15-year-olds do not come out of the womb and just want to shoot at each other. There's an environmental aspect to this that is causing this. But we keep talking about gun control, and we never get to the root of the issue. If we really want to find a solution to gun violence, we need to start looking at the problem honestly and sincerely, or we'll just keep doing the same shit expecting a different result. This is not a gun issue. It's a socioeconomic issue, and it cannot be that specific of an issue without someone causing it, or some entity, or some party, or a particular leadership. Guns, the two-way, the ability to protect yourself in an environment, in a world where we have criminals and people who are willing to do bad things to good people. Guns just make common sense. Like, this whole idea that gun control is common sense is BS. Guns are common sense. And that's why I came up with this design. Guns are common sense. I also have a line of two-way is common sense. Because at some point we have to take back the narrative. They like to take the common sense aspect and make it only apply to gun control. But if you ask me, the ability for me to protect myself with a firearm is common sense. So if you want to head over to shop.mrcolionnoir.com right now and get your, guns are common sense right now. There is a extended Father's Day sale going on at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. And right now, everything is 10% off when you go to shop.mrcolionnoir.com, including the new line of guns and two-way are common sense. And also, if you are not a member of this channel, you should probably become a member of this channel. Now, what YouTube membership is it gives you the ability to support this channel in all in our endeavors and the things that we do with respect to the Second Amendment. And in that membership, there are three groups. There's the Pew Pew Life, there's the Militia, and then there's the Ammosexuals. Each group has its own specific benefits and perks when you join it. And I, because I love you guys so much, I will regularly be doing giveaways, sponsored giveaways by different companies, sponsored giveaways to my members exclusively. So if you want to learn more about the YouTube membership, I'm going to put a link in the description section of this video. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.